Hey everyone, what's up? It's Chelsea Van Buskirk with the Heart AF podcast. Hope you guys are all doing well. Okay, so we're getting into the new year, right? This week was like my first week where I was kind of back on schedule. Kids are back in school, so that's really exciting. It's not as chaotic in the house. I got some peace, and yet I still have a ton of shit to clean up and do. But anyway, a lot of people, I feel like when we're talking the whole New Year's resolution thing, like we're all about like a new me, right? Like this is going to be a new me, a new version of me, that kind of talk, which I don't necessarily think is bad, but it brought up something for me that I really felt compelled to talk about. And that is instead of trying to change yourself and be like somebody else, I feel like the focus should be on being more you. Like you need to be more you, like, maybe that's realizing, like, when you're becoming a new you, it's actually just becoming more of who you really are in the first place, right? Because so often we walk around and go about our life doing things for other people or trying to be something for other people or trying to be who we think we have to be. And this is the year, this is a chance for you, a new year, a new beginning, right? Is a chance for you to be more you and to be more authentically you, right? And in an unapologetic way, right? Like you don't need to apologize for being who you are, for living life out loud as you are. And the thing that it just my wheels started spinning because I know I do this to myself a lot, is I'm always trying to strive for more. I'm always trying to achieve because I don't feel good enough, right? Like I'm always thinking of what should I be doing? Like I literally freeze up when people ask me, what do you do? Because I don't really have a solid answer. There's the answer of I manage our properties, but then I got to go into the story about how I'm not managing properties for other people. I'm actually managing properties that we own. And then I feel self-conscious about that because I don't want to feel like I'm bragging. Um, or it's not like my passion. And so then I feel, it's just weird. I get all up in my fucking head about it and it's stupid, right? But I feel like I should be doing more because the thing I love doing is I love doing this podcast. And one thing I kind of reflected on is the other part of what I was trying to do is write this book. And I really have let my ambition go as far as making the time to work on my book. I really haven't been working on it. And that's something that was important to me that I really want to do. Um, but that's so, it's always like I feel like I'm in transition. So people say, "What do you do?" I want to tell them about like, "Oh, I'm writing a book and I have a podcast." But on the other hand, I know those are things I'm not getting paid for, right? Like it's not really like my job. And I think it's a similar answer when, maybe stay-at-home parents, when they say I'm a stay-at-home parent, like you feel a little weird about saying that because even though that's something you're doing and it's an important job, you're not getting paid. And when you're not getting paid, you almost feel like it's not valuable or it's not, like you're not doing enough, right? It's weird, right? I don't know. And the whole like being a stay-at-home parent thing, like that was something that was really hard for me that I struggled with a lot. Like I never felt like that was enough. And the truth of it is the hardest job in the world, the hardest thing I've ever done. And I've talked to a ton of parents who have been a full stay-at-home parent, and it's the hardest job you'll ever do, right? It's draining, it's exhausting, like you're always doing something. It doesn't matter, like there's always something to do, right? And you're not getting that constant appreciation or the paycheck or the bonuses or your paid vacation or your sick days. Like you are 24/7, 365. I mean, that's just kind of the life of a parent. And even as a working parent, it's like you're working your job, then you come home and you work as a parent. Like parenting is a no days off job. It is constant. And, I don't think it's something that just stops when the kids turn 18. I mean, you still you still have children after they turn 18, right? They might be out of your house, so you might have less responsibility over them in a lot of ways, but you're still right, you're still on, like you're still the parent and there's still a lot of things to do. Um kind of sidestepping here, but just that kind of had me on a roll too with like the whole parenting as a job because it is a full-time job, absolutely. And it deserves way more accolades and credits it gets. And I think that could be a perhaps cultural thing or societal thing. Like I think we're getting better at acknowledging the important piece that stay-at-home parents play and just all the things that they do. But at the same time, there's still that stigma a little bit of not feeling like it's enough, right? I mean, I'm a mom and I feel that. But circling back about this, being a new you and all these things, like I started thinking about how often are we like changing ourselves, trying to be somebody else because we feel we're not good enough. And that's heartbreaking because we are good enough. We are like, I know I'm so lucky to have a best friend. I kid you not. Like, she is in my corner and is there to not only pump me up and like reflect back to me on how good I am and how well I'm actually doing, because I constantly second guess myself. And I know I can't be the only one, right? Like, we're constantly never thinking we're good enough and like always feeling like we're incomplete or we have to do more, we have to prove ourselves. And that goes into this whole thing, like, the new year, we feel like we have to have these goals, or, we feel like we're not successful enough. We're not as far along as we want to be in our business, or our body shape isn't looking how we want it to be. We're not as healthy as we'd like to be, or we feel like we should be more like this or more like that, because when we're more like that, that means we're successful, right? But the answer is no. That's not like, you can't place your happiness or your success on the future, on if I have this, if I get this and I want this, and once I have this, then I'm going to be happy, then I'm going to be fulfilled, then I'm going to feel worthy. The answer is no. That's not how it works. Your worth, your happiness, your joy is when you come to the realization of knowing the brilliance that you are, when you come to realize the divinity that's within you, right? When you can recognize that you're already whole, that there's nothing wrong with you, no matter where you are at in your life. Whether you think you're behind, or you think you should be further ahead, or you think you should have this and whatever, you're okay and you're beautiful and you're perfect just the way you are right now in this moment. And that's it, period. There's nothing you need to do to prove your worth. Okay. And when you can start recognizing that about yourself, recognizing that you're still whole, recognizing that you're still perfect in just the way you are in this moment, that's when you can start letting life flow for you. And it's when manifesting becomes easier, because you're in flow, because you recognize that you do have this power. That creator, that the creator that has created everything that we see, like the birds, trees, the plants, animals, all everything, like that creative energy is what's created you. It's a piece of you. It's you, right? Like, you are the creator. You get to create your life. And so when you can recognize that power within you, when you can recognize your brilliance and see that this human experience, even though it can be hard and heartbreaking, and we're full of all these human like instincts and feelings and emotions and thoughts, like, we can be in control of that. We can be in control of ourselves, and we can create whatever it is we want to create. And we just have to realize it. We have to wake up. This process of awakening is about coming to remember and realize your innate power, your innate perfectness, like that magical gift that you have as you, like, being born into this world at this specific time for a reason. Like, there is much more than just our outside world, our day-to-day life, right? Like, we get so caught up in the day-to-day and achieving and wanting to succeed and wanting the acknowledgments and the recognition. And the thing is, and I feel like and we want to be seen, right? We want to be seen. We want to be heard. We want to be validated. But you're not going to get that until you validate yourself, until you realize you're worthy without having to do anything. You have nothing to prove. You have an innate worthiness within you. Just you being here in this life, in this moment, makes you worthy of everything you could ever wish for, hope for, whatever you want to create in your life. You are worthy and deserving of it. And I feel like I'm repeating myself a little bit from past episodes, but it's because this is something I'm so passionate about, and it's so needs to be heard, and it's something that we neglect ourselves with, and it's easy to forget, right? We go to sleep, like, we forget, and we get caught up in this day-to-day life and having to do all these things. And the thing is life can get so much more beautiful and joyful when you realize your power, when you realize your divinity and your worthiness, when you're not always trying to just go, go, go to prove a point. When you can realize and see yourself and validate yourself, just knowing that, like, things just happen for you. I'm telling you, it's ridiculous. It's crazy. Um, and it's beautiful. And I just want people to recognize that, to recognize it within you, because I guarantee you there's people that see you that just like think you're amazing, and that think you are doing wonderful things in your life and wish they could be you. But you can't see it. It's so crazy. We can't see it about ourselves. Other people see it within us, and we can't see it in ourselves. And that's really what I want to help people do, is find that. find that peace within them where you can realize, right? Like I said, my mantra for this year was realizing you're a badass bitch and tapping into that badass bitch within you. Like this is what this is about, is recognizing that you are a badass bitch, right? Like own that shit. Own it. Own you. Be more you. Don't try to be like anybody else. We don't need a lot of other people all the same, right? Like we need you. We need you and your uniqueness. You have unique gifts to bring to this world. And it doesn't mean you have to like strive and accomplish and make $1 million or whatever. Not that there's anything wrong with that. And if you want to do the things that get you those things in life, that's fine too. And that's great and wonderful. But it doesn't validate you. That doesn't equate your worth. What you do is not who you are. Okay. What you accumulate is not who you are. You get it? Like we strive and we we will make ourselves sick. We're literally slowly killing ourselves for something that doesn't even matter, right? Like you got to find your own joy and recognize this brilliance within you and recognize that there is nothing about you that you need to do to make yourself worthy. When you recognize that you are worthy and that you can achieve whatever you want and create the life that you want to create, you can start making things happen for you. And I'm not saying it's something that just like poof magically happens, but when you have that right attitude, when you have that love within you, that love for yourself, the love of which you came from, when you're connected to that love, that source energy, that power, that magic, when you're connected to it and you see that that's what's within you, then you're vibing high, you're vibrationally matching up for things to come into your life, right? Like you start opening yourself up to opportunities. You start being appreciative and being grateful for the things that you already have. And when you're in that mindset of being grateful for what you already have and knowing that you have everything that you need and knowing that you're fully loved just as you are, you don't have to do anything. And that's when you get more of that, right? Like that's when you start like attracting things that are in alignment with how you're feeling, how you're vibing, right? And it's interesting to me because the more I talk about this, the more that I listen to the audiobooks and other people talking about their spiritual experiences and spirituality, it's it's validating for me to hear that everybody's story, as far as like research or hearing people's like connections with spirit and just learning about our divinity, like everything I research, it's all the same. It's consistent. There's a consistency there in all the messaging. There's a new book I'm reading that's amazing, and it just like hits everything that I've been saying over and over again. It is just super validating to hear that no matter the different authors I read about or pick up, or the different studies on metaphysics and different doctors and things that are talking about, like there's evidential, like to me, there's no coincidences, right? Like how can this many people be saying the same stuff and be picking up the same things that I pick up on? Like there's something valuable in that, right? That just solidifies everything that I'm doing right now and what I'm quote unquote preaching. Like, not that I feel like I'm a preacher, but I feel like I have a message that I need to share because I want other people to know that joy and that love and to start looking within themselves to find that power and that love, right? Like, it's not outside of you, right? God is not outside of you. He's within you, right? That source energy piece that's within you, it is you, right? Like you have that power and you don't have to repent and you don't have to prove your worth to get that, right? That's something that like I'm getting more and more confident and secure, I guess you could say, in like voicing my opinion or what I'm seeing is you're already worthy, right? Like I hate that indoctrination that we get taught where you have to like prove your worth. Like it starts when we're a little kid, right? Like if you're good, if you do all this, then you get rewarded, right? If you follow the rules, then you're lovable, right? But that's not true. You're already loved. You're so loved. You are lovable just as you are. We get so caught up in all the things we've been through, the mistakes we've made, and the painful moments we've experienced. We feel rejected. We feel broken. We feel unworthy, unloved, and we're not. We're loved just as we are, and we don't have to change anything about ourselves to get love. You don't have to do things to receive love. You just get to be, just being yourself, just breathing, just waking up in the morning, you were loved. Okay? You don't have to do any tasks. You don't have to save the world. You got to save yourself, and you save yourself by recognizing that you are beautiful, that you have everything you could ever need within you. recognize your power. Don't be a new you, be more you. Quit being afraid of being yourself. Like walk out loud, right? Like there's no more hiding, right? Like recognizing your beauty and your power lets you stand up in a confident way. You get to stand in your beauty. You get to fully bloom, right? I've talked about this before about when the risk is greater to remain tight in the bud than it is to bloom, right? That quote. This is it. Bloom. Be you, right? And there's nothing wrong with trying to improve yourself, right? Not saying that you can still work towards loving yourself more by maybe drinking some more water, taking some more steps throughout the day, right? It's fine to be healthy and want to improve yourself because when you know more, when you know differently, then you can do differently, right? Like we're all just doing the best we can with the knowledge we have at that specific moment. So anytime we're learning and picking up new knowledge, that's a chance for us to vibrate differently and to have new ways of thinking to start doing differently, right? And it doesn't mean we were wrong back then. That was just our experience in that moment. We were still loved and perfect in that moment, just like we are still loved and perfect in this moment, right? So there is evolvement, there is changes in your life as you grow, as you raise your vibration and come to know who you really are and come to know what spirituality means to you and knowing your power. Like that's all transition and involvement. Sure, you're going to change, but it's becoming more you. You're becoming more of your true self, coming into your higher self. So you don't need to be somebody new. You don't need to be like this person or that person or do more of this or do more of that to be more successful or accomplish more. Like you are just amazing just as you are, right? Be you, be more you. That's the message for this week. And I have nothing but love for anyone that listens and shows up and listens to my message and shows up to the show. I appreciate you so much. Thanks for being here. I think this is episode 22, which is great. I've been seeing a lot of repeating twos lately, 222 today even. So thank you so much for being here. I'm really excited to really just be the uplifter you need me to be for you. And I'd love to hear from you guys. I want to know, in what way can you be more you this year? Let me know. Whether you comment on the YouTube video when I post this on YouTube, or you send me a DM on my Facebook or Instagram, reach out to me on my website. I'll link my contact information in the description of this episode. But I love you. I'm excited for what's to come this year. And I hope you're excited and just getting pumped up for your life too. So you guys take care. I'll see you guys next week. And you know where to find me, chelseavanbuskirk.com or on Facebook or Instagram at chelsea.vanbuskirk. Let me know what's up. Please tell me, how are you going to be more you this year in 2023? Get at me. All right, I'll see you guys next week. Peace.